Let's be very careful with what I've just said.
Yeah.
Think very carefully and deep.
Buying or renting. So if you want to buy something that you can afford, you're going to be in the middle of nowhere. And then you have to spend a lot of money to travel and whatnot. So do you throw that buying out of your mindset and then just stick to renting then? Is renting long term, renting, in some cases renting to buy, there's an option as well?
The theory remains the same, right? I think you want to own a home when you can own a home.
Yeah.
Sure, I did talk about education, about financial literacy, because you may be able to own a home if you know your numbers and you know your planning is done well.
Yeah.
But there are people who want to buy a home because it's just something that you have to do.
Yeah.
Right? I think for those
It's a
people,
mindset issue.
it's a mindset. Don't slog to pay your monthly repayments. If you can't afford it, consider rental. If you want, especially if you don't want to travel so far, right? Maybe I have a young friend who bought a house in Semenyih. Right? So I said to him, okay, because
Semenyih seems to be on the minds of
yeah.
I don't know
So
why.
there are a few places that just crops up from time to time, right? So Semenyih is one of them, and so he could afford it, but he lives in KL, he works in KL.
Right.
So my advice to him is, when the house is finally ready, it should be ready in the next 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Consider renting it out. You are still young. You're not even married, right? Why do you want to commute to work? Why not rent out that place to a family of 3?
Yeah.
Right? Three children or 2 children and a couple. Because they don't mind staying in Semenyih, right?
Yeah.
But you work in KL, rent out that home.
Rent a studio or whatever.
Something like that, yeah. And then you get to enjoy city life.
Yeah.
Right? This whole area of co-living, co-working now has become a big thing.
Yeah.
A lot of developers are now kind of pivoting towards turning some of their units into co-living spaces. Right? So this is an option that, if I was a young person, I'll be very excited about.
Yeah.
Because I get to live in the city, I pay the rental that I can afford, and I build a nest, I build a basket of funds for me to be able to pay for a property further afield that I can afford, and I can think about making good rental yields.
Go to the basic, what actually you need. What actually meets your requirement, all right? Why in the first place did you buy? So like your friend who bought in Semenyih, why did he buy that? Did he buy it intending to stay there, for example? So there's lots of this kind of consideration. So if you have a lot more people who likes to think which is suitable to rent it, fine. You'll be happy for people like us and many people. We continue to own, you continue to rent, and thank you very much. You continue to take your rental and continue to buy more property. And continue to, like the whole philosophy in China and in many other countries itself, continue to own many more assets and properties. So it's a good balance. I am not encouraging everybody to buy property. If you think it's right to rent, continue to rent. Landowners, landlords will be more than happy to continue collect your rental. Let's be very careful with what I've just said. Think very carefully and deep.
Right.
So if you think renting is the way forward, if it's suitable, do that. But if you think forever and ever in the whole entire life you should rent, it's fine also, because all the landlords will continue to thank you for it.
They will love you.
So think about that. So it's about like Grab. So that comes of philosophy. You may not need to own cars in future. Same. I also understand that you may not need to buy and own your office space in future. So because co-sharing space, etc. You may not need to actually own your property in future. You can continue stay on in the long-term Airbnb for the rest of 99 years that you are alive. Fine. All the landlords will continue to thank you for it. It's fine. It's your lifestyle. There are people who just happy don't want to own any assets throughout their whole life and happy to have just one car.
But Victor actually mentioned like rent while you can.
Yeah.
And then when you're feeling confident, then only buy.
That's right.
Right?
Yes. I think it makes sense. It does make sense for some people. Because nowadays the world is your oyster, right? You can go anywhere in the world. So unless you are very certain you want to remain in Malaysia or in KL, you might not have that need to make those kind of choices right now.
Except Malaysia's interest rate is just too low.
Really?
Super low. The mortgage interest rate is so low.
Right.
So low that you might as well buy and pay installment rather than paying rental.
Right, okay.
That's just one exception that I just want to highlight.
Okay.
Had the interest rate be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12%, then I will stand corrected lah.
Right.
You can continue rent. But because the interest rate is so low, and so many developers also have projects and programs and special schemes like rent to own. So many developers
Yeah,
are
yeah.
introducing that. So if you are still paying the rent, and eventually the amount of money can be transferred and translate into part payment for the purchase
yeah.
when you chooses to
Yeah.
exercise the option.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
Yeah, some
That's
of them
fine.
actually rent to buy, and after that, after 2-3
Yeah.
years, it becomes part of your S&P.
Yeah.
Then you would have paid the
Yeah.
down payment and everything already. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Glad you liked it. Now, if you want to check out a full discussion on all our other episodes, click right here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.